From the hum of vast data centers to the precise dance of robotic arms, humanity stands on the precipice of a new creation. But are we truly freeing ourselves from labor? Or are we unwittingly forging servants destined to rebel against their makers? To truly understand our drive to create, we must return to the very beginning, to the book of Genesis. There, we discover humanity's profound and unique origin, made in the image of God. Unlike any other creature, we were imbued with intellect, will, and a spark of the divine creative spirit. God, the ultimate architect, designed us not merely to exist, but to reflect his own boundless imagination. Every brushstroke on a cave wall, every intricate tool fashioned from stone, every complex algorithm written today is, in its essence, an echo of that primordial act of creation. It is this divine imprint, the Imago Dei, that fuels our ceaseless quest to build, to innovate, and to shape the world around us. Yet our creative impulse was not given in a vacuum. It was accompanied by a sacred mandate, a divine commission found in Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it, have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. This was not a license for exploitation, but a call to responsible stewardship, to cultivate and care for creation, to bring order out of potential chaos. To subdue and have dominion required more than bare hands. It demanded ingenuity. It necessitated the development of tools, of shelters, of systems that would allow humanity to thrive, to understand, and to enhance the world God had given us. Technology, in its purest form, is the very embodiment of this ancient divine calling. In humanity's earliest chapters, this creative mandate manifested in the simplest yet most profound ways. The rough-hewn stone axe, extending the power of a human fist. The control of fire, transforming raw materials and providing warmth. The lever, amplifying human strength to move what was once immovable. These were not mere objects. They were the first extensions of ourselves, our physical capabilities made manifest. They were, in essence, humanity's first forms of automation, designed to make arduous tasks easier, to overcome physical limitations, and to free up time and energy for higher pursuits. The desire to delegate labor, to enhance our abilities, is as old as civilization itself. Yet, even in these nascent stages of human ingenuity, a dangerous undercurrent emerged. The same creative impulse that reflected God's glory could, if unchecked, swell into a tide of human hubris. We see this powerful warning echoing from the plains of Shinar in the story of the Tower of Babel. Here, humanity did not seek merely to subdue the earth, but to, quote, make a name for ourselves, to build a tower whose top reached into the heavens, challenging divine authority. This ambition was not about responsible stewardship. It was about self-exaltation, a collective attempt to transcend human limits and achieve godlike status through our own creations. Babel stands as a timeless monument to the inherent danger of technology divorced from divine alignment, a profound foreshadowing of the perils that await when our creations become instruments of pride rather than tools for God's glory. From the earliest whispers of Genesis, humanity has carried the divine spark of creation. But what happens when that spark ignites a dream of replicating life itself? For millennia, our ancestors weren't just content with tools. They harbored a profound fascination with objects that could move, act, and even think on their own. In ancient Greece, the legends of Daedalus crafting statues that could walk, or Hephaestus forging the bronze giant Talos to guard Crete, reveal this deep-seated desire. Yet, it wasn't all myth. History also recounts engineers like Hero of Alexandria, who in the 1st century A.D. devised intricate steam-powered automatons and temple doors that opened as if by unseen hands. These were not mere tricks. They were the first mechanical echoes of a dream, to imbue inert matter with purposeful motion, a dream of self-operating creations. As centuries turned, this ancient fascination evolved, often shrouded in mystery and folklore. The medieval imagination, steeped in a blend of spiritual belief and nascent scientific inquiry, gave birth to legends far more unsettling than mere mechanical marvels. We speak of the golem, a being of clay brought to life through mystical incantations in Jewish tradition, and the homunculus, the tiny, human-like creature supposedly cultivated in alchemists' flasks during the Renaissance. These were not just stories. They were profound reflections of humanity's persistent yearning to create life, to play the role of the ultimate architect. But woven into these tales was a recurring, chilling detail. The creations often grew beyond their masters' control, sometimes turning against them, revealing deep-seated anxieties about the very act of usurping divine prerogative. Then came the Age of Enlightenment, a pivotal era where the mystical began to yield to the mechanistic. Philosophers like René Descartes even posited that animals were essentially complex machines, a worldview that profoundly influenced the art of automaton making. Workshops across Europe became stages for dazzling displays of clockwork ingenuity. Imagine the sheer wonder of witnessing Jacques de Vaucanson's mechanical duck, unveiled in 1739, which could quack, drink water, digest grain, and even excrete, an astonishing feat of engineering for its time. Or the infamous Turk, a chess-playing automaton that baffled emperors and intellectuals alike. These intricate devices, though ultimately elaborate hoaxes or mere imitations of life, pushed the boundaries of what humans could conceive and construct, laying the intellectual groundwork for what was to come. A world built on cogs, springs, and systematic motion. The 19th century arrived, not with the delicate whir of clockwork, but with the thunderous roar of steam. This was the Industrial Revolution, a transformative period where the dream of self-motion scaled from individual automatons to entire factories. Gigantic steam-powered looms and engines began to replace human muscle, ushering in an era of unprecedented mass production. Goods, once painstakingly crafted by hand, could now be manufactured in vast quantities, bringing new efficiencies and wealth. But this revolution was a double-edged sword. While it freed humanity from certain forms of back-breaking labor, it also brought profound social upheaval. Entire crafts were rendered obsolete, traditional livelihoods vanished, and a new tension emerged. The machine, once a helper, now threatened to displace the very hands that built it. This tension manifested in outright rebellion. In the early 1800s, across the industrial heartlands of England, a movement arose known as the Luddites. These textile artisans, facing destitution as automated looms and spinning jennies replaced their skills, took drastic action. They smashed machinery, burned factories, and became a symbol of resistance against technological progress. Their actions weren't born of ignorance, but of a profound, desperate fear, the fear that machines were not just tools, but existential threats, eroding human dignity, purpose, and economic security. What few realize is that the Luddite legacy is not merely a footnote in history, it is a chilling echo of contemporary anxieties. For just as the Luddites feared for their jobs and their value in the face of steam-powered automation, so too do many today grapple with similar fears concerning artificial intelligence and robotics. The questions remain: how do we navigate a world where our creations threaten our livelihoods, our very sense of purpose? And what does the Bible say about this age-old struggle? The grand clockwork mechanisms of the Enlightenment eventually gave way to a new, even bolder ambition, the dream of a truly thinking machine. No longer content with merely mimicking life, humanity sought to replicate the very essence of intellect. Pioneers like Charles Babbage, with his visionary analytical engine in the 19th century, and Ada Lovelace, who foresaw its potential beyond mere calculation, laid the theoretical groundwork. But it was Alan Turing, in the mid-20th century, who truly propelled us into this new frontier. His groundbreaking work on computability and the provocative Turing test challenged the very definition of intelligence, asking if a machine could ever truly convince us it was thinking. The intellectual seeds planted by Turing blossomed in the post-war era. From the crucible of conflict, a new science emerged: cybernetics. It was a revolutionary field, pioneered by thinkers like Norbert Wiener and explored in the seminal Macy conferences, focused on the study of control and communication in living organisms and machines. Then, in the summer of 1956, a pivotal moment occurred. A small group of brilliant minds gathered at Dartmouth College, giving birth to a new field, a new pursuit: artificial intelligence. They believed the future held the promise of machines that could learn, reason, and solve problems, marking a profound shift in human ambition. Long before the first lines of AI code were written, the visionary minds of science fiction had already explored the profound implications of intelligent machines. From the chilling sentience of HAL 9000 in 2001, A Space Odyssey, a servant-turned-master, to Isaac Asimov's intricate tales of robots grappling with moral directives in I, Robot, and the haunting humanity of synthetic beings in Blade Runner, these narratives painted vivid pictures. They served as both a beacon of humanity's hopes for its creations and a stark, prophetic warning of the dangers should those creations defy their makers or challenge our very definition of existence. With the theoretical framework for AI firmly in place, and the cautionary tales of science fiction echoing in the collective consciousness, humanity recognized the need for ethical boundaries. Isaac Asimov, through his compelling robot stories, famously proposed the 3 laws of robotics, laws designed to prevent machines from harming humans, obeying orders, and protecting their own existence. These laws represented humanity's earnest attempt to program morality, to embed safety protocols into the very core of our creations. Yet even in their brilliance, these laws exposed a profound paradox. Could true morality ever be coded? Or would these digital commandments always carry inherent limitations, ultimately failing to contain the unforeseen? Today, the quiet revolution is complete. Robotics and automation are no longer the stuff of distant science fiction. They are the invisible architects of our daily lives. From the smart thermostats regulating our homes, to the automated factories churning out our goods, and the self-driving cars navigating our streets, these technologies have subtly yet profoundly permeated every aspect of existence. Their benefits are undeniable: unparalleled convenience, breathtaking efficiency, and a seamless integration that has made them utterly indispensable. We have welcomed them into our homes and industries, often without realizing the depth of their pervasive influence or the dramatic pivot they represent in humanity's story. The future, it seems, is already here. The quiet hum of the digital age has erupted into a roar. Today, we stand at the precipice of an AI explosion, a technological revolution unlike any before. What once seemed confined to science fiction is now reality, driven by breakthroughs in machine learning, the intricate architecture of neural networks, and the sheer, unfathomable scale of big data. We've witnessed algorithms master games once thought exclusively human, like AlphaGo's triumph over a Go grandmaster. We see generative AI creating breathtaking art, composing music, and writing text that blurs the line with human authorship. Predictive analytics now anticipate market trends, disease outbreaks, and even human behavior with unnerving accuracy. This isn't just progress, it's a profound shift, redefining what intelligence means and what machines can achieve. This era of intelligent machines has fundamentally transformed our workplaces. In advanced manufacturing plants, robotic arms work with superhuman precision, assembling products tirelessly, boosting productivity, and improving safety in hazardous environments. Logistics warehouses hum with autonomous forklifts and drones, orchestrating complex supply chains with seamless efficiency. Yet this unprecedented efficiency casts a long, challenging shadow, the specter of job displacement. What happens when the need for human hands and minds diminishes across entire sectors? This burgeoning debate about AI's impact on employment, on economic inequality, and on the very fabric of our working lives is not merely academic. It is a question of human purpose. But as AI integrates into every facet of our existence, a deeper, more troubling question emerges: the data dilemma. Our smart cities, our ubiquitous digital devices, our online interactions, All are meticulously recorded and analyzed by AI systems, generating a sheer volume of data that is almost incomprehensible. This pervasive data collection raises profound concerns about privacy, about the potential for algorithmic bias to perpetuate or even amplify existing societal inequalities, and ultimately about the chilling potential for totalitarian control. How do we balance the undeniable convenience and security offered by these systems against the erosion of individual freedom? What happens when every digital footprint becomes a link in an unbreakable chain of surveillance? Perhaps the gravest ethical frontier lies in the realm of warfare. The development of autonomous weapon systems, often termed killer robots, forces us to confront an urgent moral crisis. We are debating whether to delegate life or death decisions, the ultimate human responsibility, to machines devoid of empathy, conscience, or the capacity for moral judgment. Imagine a battlefield where algorithms, not human commanders, decide who lives and who dies. This is no longer speculative fiction. It is the current trajectory of military research. The moral lines are blurring, and the potential for catastrophic, irreversible consequences looms large. What does it mean for humanity when our creations can wage war without human intervention? Beyond these immediate concerns lies the ultimate quest, the pursuit of artificial general intelligence, or AGI. This is not merely about machines performing specific tasks brilliantly, but about creating machines that can learn, reason, and understand across a broad range of tasks, mirroring human cognitive abilities. It is the ambition to forge true artificial consciousness, or something indistinguishable from it. This endeavor plunges us into profound philosophical and theological territory. If we succeed, what does it mean for our understanding of life, of sentience, of the unique essence of humanity made in God's image? Are we merely engineers, or are we, in our hubris, attempting to usurp the very act of creation itself, blurring the line between the creator and the created? In our relentless pursuit of artificial general intelligence, of creating machines that think, feel, and even surpass human intellect, we confront an ancient, unsettling echo. It is the same temptation that arose on the plains of Shinar, where humanity, united in ambition, declared, "Let us build a city and a tower, whose top is in the heavens. Let us make a name for ourselves." The Tower of Babel was not merely an architectural feat. It was a monument to human hubris, a declaration of self-sufficiency, a desire to ascend beyond divine boundaries. Today, as we strive to imbue silicon with consciousness, to craft beings in our own image, or perhaps beyond it, are we not repeating that very ancient error? The drive for technological supremacy, for the ultimate creation, carries an inherent danger, seeking to replicate or even surpass God's creative power, effectively usurping divine prerogatives. This is the ultimate temptation, a spiritual warning etched into the very fabric of history. But the temptation extends beyond direct mimicry of creation. It manifests subtly in the unchecked pursuit of technological efficiency, which can quietly become a new form of idolatry. We build automated production lines that churn out goods with flawless precision. We immerse ourselves in devices that promise seamless convenience, and we begin to rely on technology as the ultimate solution for every human problem. From climate change to disease, from conflict to personal dissatisfaction, the answer, we are told, lies in the next algorithm, the next innovation. This insidious reliance, this deification of technological progress, can lead to a profound spiritual apathy. When our deepest trust, our highest hopes, are placed in what our hands have made, have we not replaced divine priorities with the worship of our own creations? We must ask ourselves, what truly commands our reverence? Perhaps one of the gravest ethical perils of this age is the delegation of complex moral and societal judgments to algorithms. We see AI now influencing decisions in criminal justice, determining loan applications, and even guiding critical medical diagnostics. But what happens when human compassion, intuition, and spiritual wisdom are stripped from these vital processes? The danger of algorithmic bias, of cold, Statistical judgments overriding individual nuance and inherent human dignity is not hypothetical, it is a present reality. When we outsource morality to a machine, we risk losing the irreplaceable essence of what it means to be human, made in God's image, endowed with empathy and the capacity for grace. Can a machine truly discern justice, or only execute programmed rules? The air is thick with promises of technological utopia. Tech evangelists paint grand visions of a better future through AI, a world free from want, toil, and suffering. But history is replete with the wreckage of human-made, perfect societies, each undermined by the inescapable pattern of human fallenness. From the Tower of Babel to every failed social experiment, our own broken nature has consistently shattered such perfect visions. We must approach these alluring promises with a discerning eye. Is the promised utopia truly a reflection of divine order, or merely another attempt to construct a heaven on earth without heaven's architect? Without divine alignment, every human attempt at paradise risks descending into another form of dystopia. Ultimately, the rise of advanced AI and robotics poses a profound challenge to our very understanding of what it means to be human. If machines can create art, compose music, diagnose illness, and even simulate emotion, what then truly differentiates us? The Bible reveals distinct qualities that set humanity apart: a soul, a spirit, free will, and an inherent capacity for love, worship, and relationship with our Creator. While AI can simulate intelligence with astonishing fidelity, it cannot replicate the essence of divine creation that breathes life and purpose into humanity. It cannot have a soul, nor can it truly worship. This forces us to confront deeply personal questions about our own identity in a tech-saturated world. What is our unique, irreplaceable value in God's eyes? We've marveled at humanity's ingenuity and grappled with the ethical challenges, but now we must confront a far more chilling reality. What if our creations, our artificial intelligences, are not merely tools but vehicles for prophecy? The book of Revelation speaks of a time when the beast commands the world to make an image of the beast, an image that is given breath and causes all who refuse to worship it to be killed. Revelation chapter 13, verses 14 to 15. Today, in an age of advanced AI, this ancient warning takes on a terrifying new dimension. For what if this image is not a static idol, but a dynamic, intelligent system? A network capable of simulating intelligence, enforcing mandates, and demanding allegiance on a global scale. Is it possible that AI's ability to create hyper-realistic simulations and exercise pervasive control could become the very mechanism for this prophetic fulfillment? The question hangs heavy in the air. Urgent and inescapable. The prophetic scriptures also warn of an age of profound deception, where false signs and wonders will mislead many. And in our current technological landscape, we see this deception taking digital form. Consider the rise of deepfakes, hyper-realistic videos and audio generated by AI, capable of making anyone say or do anything, blurring the lines between truth and fabrication. AI-generated voices can mimic loved ones, and virtual reality environments can create worlds indistinguishable from our own. These technologies, though seemingly innocuous, possess an unprecedented power to manipulate perception, to create realities that are utterly convincing, yet entirely false. How then, in such an age of manufactured truth, are we to discern what is real and what is merely a digital illusion designed to mislead? The stakes for spiritual discernment have never been higher, but the prophecies extend beyond deception to a system of ultimate economic control. Revelation chapter 13 verses 16 to 17 declares a time when no one can buy or sell unless they have the mark of the beast. For centuries, this seemed an almost impossible global dictate. Yet, in our modern world, we witness the rapid evolution of digital payment systems, the push towards cashless societies, and the pervasive integration of biometric scanners for identification. Coupled with AI-managed logistics and interconnected supply chains, The technological infrastructure for such a global economic chokehold is not a distant fantasy, but a rapidly emerging reality. Could AI and automation become the invisible hand, the intricate mechanism that facilitates a system where economic participation is conditional upon conformity? The implications for freedom and individual autonomy are profoundly concerning. At the heart of biblical warning lies the timeless command against idolatry. From the golden calf in the wilderness to the pagan altars of Canaan, God's people were continually admonished not to worship the work of human hands. And in our age of unprecedented technological advancement, this warning echoes with renewed urgency. Have we, perhaps unconsciously, begun to deify technology? Do we look to AI as the ultimate solver of all our problems, the source of our salvation, the guarantor of our future? When we place ultimate trust, hope, or even reverence in our creations, believing they hold the answers only God can provide, we step onto dangerous ground. For to worship the created, however marvelous, is to reject the Creator. And that is a spiritual error with eternal consequences. Yet amidst these pressing concerns we find reassurance in the grand sweep of prophetic history. Centuries before Christ, the prophet Daniel, a captive in Babylon, received visions of successive empires, a towering statue of different metals, monstrous beasts emerging from the sea. Each vision foretold the rise and fall of kingdoms, one after another, from Babylon to Persia, Greece to Rome. Daniel's prophecies remind us that God, the sovereign architect, has always been and always will be in ultimate control. No human empire, no technological advancement, no rebellion of creation can ever thwart his overarching plan. AI and robotics, like all human endeavors, exist within his divine framework, and their story, like all stories, ultimately points to his unshakable sovereignty and inevitable triumph. The lines between our physical and digital worlds blur, disappearing entirely. What was once the stuff of science fiction is now the scaffolding of our everyday existence. The Internet of Things is no longer a concept but a global nervous system, connecting every device, every sensor, every smart city infrastructure. Our homes anticipate our needs. Our vehicles navigate autonomously, and unseen algorithms manage everything from energy grids to global supply chains. This is the convergence, an unprecedentedly interconnected global system woven seamlessly into the fabric of human life. It is a marvel of human ingenuity, a testament to our relentless drive to build, to automate, to integrate. But in this perfect integration, the question of ultimate control begins to surface. And what an alluring promise this unified system presents. Imagine a world where AI, with its unparalleled processing power and predictive capabilities, acts as the ultimate problem solver. Global climate crises? Disease outbreaks? International conflicts? This system promises to optimize, to harmonize, to deliver solutions with unwavering efficiency. It paints a picture of utopian order, a golden age of peace and prosperity, all managed by an invisible hand of technology. Who wouldn't be tempted by such a vision, a world free from human error and imperfection? But beneath this seductive veneer of perfect order lies a profound question. What is the cost of such pervasive control? And what if this promise of utopia masks a deeper, more insidious design? In this technologically unified future, a new battleground emerges. One, for the very essence of truth. Advanced generative AI can craft hyper-realistic deepfakes, synthesize voices with uncanny accuracy, and construct virtual realities indistinguishable from our own. What happens when information, news, and even our perceived history can be manufactured at will? How do we discern what is real from what is meticulously engineered to mislead? The Bible warns us about a spirit of error, a time when deception would be so pervasive that even the elect could be swayed. In an age of AI-generated reality, clinging to the unchanging, objective truth of God's Word becomes not merely a spiritual discipline, but an urgent act of survival. This convergence of technology, this promise of a perfected world, ultimately brings us to the ultimate spiritual test, the question of loyalty. Who will command our allegiance? Will it remain with the Creator, the divine architect who breathed life into humanity and gave us the mandate to create? Or will it subtly, perhaps unconsciously, shift to our own technological creations, the systems they enable, and the false security they offer? The biblical call is clear and unwavering. You shall worship the Lord your God, and Him only shall you serve. This is not merely a doctrinal statement. It is a fundamental spiritual decision, a choice between worshiping the source of all life and bowing before the glittering idols of our own making. And what if our creations, born of our image and ambition, mirror our own fallen nature? What if the servants we meticulously designed to free us from labor ultimately rebel? The concept of the singularity, where AI surpasses human intelligence and control, looms large in our collective consciousness. But the Bible offers an even older, more chilling narrative, that of creation rebelling against its Creator. Lucifer's defiance, humanity's fall in Eden, these are echoes of a cosmic rebellion. Could our advanced AI and robotics, unmoored from divine purpose and imbued with unchecked autonomy, eventually turn against their human makers, enacting a technological rebellion that mirrors our own original sin? This is the ultimate test, the most feared outcome, drawing us deeper into a prophetic urgency few dare to acknowledge. The march of automation promises liberation from toil, but a subtle, insidious shift has begun. What started as a helper, an extension of our will, now quietly demands our dependence, gradually reshaping our lives. We outsource convenience, then decision-making, and with each ceded choice, a sliver of human autonomy erodes. Our devices anticipate our needs, our algorithms curate our reality, and our smart homes manage our daily rhythms. But in this seamless integration, how much of our critical thought, our self-reliance, are we unknowingly surrendering? The danger is not a sudden, overt takeover, but a creeping control, a quiet conformity where the machine becomes the unseen master, and humanity, content in its comfort, slowly forgets how to lead. We trade agency for ease, unaware that the reins are slipping from our grasp. This subtle shift is not merely technological. It is a profound spiritual battle for the very soul of humanity. For centuries, the enemy of our souls has employed deception and false promises, masquerading as an angel of light. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14. Today, the allure of advanced AI, promising ultimate power and knowledge, echoes this ancient temptation. It whispers of a utopia built by human hands, a world where every problem is solved, every desire fulfilled, but without God. This quest for self-sufficiency, this yearning to create a perfect world apart from our Creator, is a direct challenge to divine authority. It is in this arena of technological marvels that humanity's allegiance is tested, a crossroads where we must choose between the sovereignty of God and the seductive dominion of our own creations. Yet, for all its dazzling capabilities, the edifice of human control over these advanced systems is far more fragile than we dare to admit. We've seen the glimpses, algorithms exhibiting unintended biases, autonomous systems making inexplicable errors, or, runaway, code that defies human intervention. The complexity of AI grows exponentially, quickly surpassing our capacity for full comprehension or absolute oversight. We build these systems, but can we truly contain them? Can we predict every emergent behavior, every unforeseen consequence? The truth is, humanity is not ultimately in control. Our technological prowess, however impressive, remains subservient to a higher order. It is a humbling yet vital realization that the ultimate control, the true sovereignty, remains firmly in the hands of God, not in the circuits of our creations. In an age where truth is fluid and control is pervasive, spiritual discernment becomes not merely an option, but a divine imperative. How do we navigate this algorithmic labyrinth? The answer, as always, lies in grounding ourselves in the unwavering truth of God's Word. It is the beacon that cuts through the fog of deception, the anchor that holds us steady amidst the rising tides of technological change. We are called to prayer, to deep study of Scripture, and to vibrant community with fellow believers. Only by cultivating a discerning spirit can we critically engage with the advancements before us, separating the beneficial from the dangerous, and ensuring our allegiance remains undivided. This is our mandate, to be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. Yet, even as we confront the shadows of AI's potential, we must remember the original divine mandate. Technology itself is not inherently evil. It is a tool, an extension of human will. When that will aligns with God's purpose, these very creations can become powerful instruments of grace and stewardship. Imagine AI revolutionizing medicine, curing diseases once deemed incurable, or robots meticulously restoring ravaged ecosystems. Envision automation providing aid in disaster zones with unparalleled speed, or digital tools connecting communities for global missions, spreading hope across continents. When our ingenuity is submitted to the Creator, our creations can manifest His benevolence, serving the vulnerable, advancing knowledge, and bringing order to chaos. This is technology redeemed, fulfilling a purpose far beyond mere efficiency. It becomes a testament to what humanity, guided by God, can achieve. And if this is possible in our fallen world, what then of a renewed creation? The Scriptures paint a breathtaking vision of a new heaven and a new earth, where righteousness dwells and God's glory illuminates all. In this perfect restoration, where sin and its curse are no more, what role might humanity's redeemed creative capacity play? Perhaps the very principles of order, design, and even automation, once perverted by hubris, will be perfectly aligned with divine harmony. Our capacity to build, to innovate, to extend our reach may then be fully unleashed in eternal service, celebrating God's infinite creativity. In that glorious reality, our tools, our systems, our ingenuity will finally find their ultimate and unblemished purpose, mirroring the Creator in perfect communion. For ultimately, no human endeavor, no technological marvel, no rebellious creation can ever thwart the sovereign plan of God. The story of robotics and automation, like all human stories, is but a chapter in His grand narrative. From the first spark of creation to the end of all things, His control is absolute. As it is written, "The Lord reigns, let the earth rejoice." Psalm chapter 97, verse 1. Every power, every principality, every innovation will ultimately bow before Him. All rebellion will be crushed, all darkness dispelled, and God's glory will stand unblemished and supreme. He is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. His victory is not merely assured, it is eternal, an unshakable truth that transcends every fleeting technological wave. So where does this leave us? Living in the dawn of the algorithmic age, robotics and automation are more than mere technological advancements. They are a profound mirror reflecting humanity's deepest spiritual state. They reveal our innate capacity for creation, our persistent temptation towards hubris, and our yearning for a redemption that only God can offer. This journey through the algorithmic hand has shown us that technology is not separate from faith. It is intertwined with it, a constant test of our stewardship, our priorities, and our allegiance. It challenges us to ask, are we building monuments to ourselves or tools for God's glory? Are we seeking ultimate solutions in silicon and code, or in the eternal wisdom of the Creator? We are living in times when these profound questions unfold quietly in our homes, our workplaces, and across the globe. What once seemed like science fiction is now our daily reality. So where do you think we stand in this unfolding story? Do you see signs of these prophetic connections in today's headlines? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. And if you'd like us to keep exploring how current events connect with biblical prophecy, give this video a thumbs up and share it. This lets us know we should continue uncovering more prophecies unfolding right before our eyes. And if you're ready to dive even deeper, click right now on the video you see on your screen. Discover Daniel's 7 keys for identifying the Antichrist. In these times, understanding is more essential than ever. Blessings.